Hello, my name is Raymond Merriman, and I am the president of the Merriman Market Analysts. And today I want to discuss the trading of solar lunar reversal dates. We get a lot of questions from monthly subscribers, daily and weekly subscribers where these solar lunar reversal dates are listed, and they all want to know the same thing. How do we trade them? Well, we're going to go over that today. And we're going to use examples of gold and Bitcoin. So the first step in trading a solar lunar or just a plain lunar reversal date is to identify a period when a high weighted value score is in effect. Now we consider anything over 114, which has a 1 star on it, as a potential reversal zone if the setup is in effect. Personally, I prefer scores that are 138 or higher, 2 stars, and the higher, the better. That simply means that when the moon is in that sign during those days, there is a historical greater frequency of markets reversing whatever percent that we look for in our filtered wave. So with gold, we use 3 or 4%. For Bitcoin, we use 10 or 12%. Now, that doesn't mean every time that happens, you're going to get a 3 to 4% or greater reversal in gold or a 10 or 12% reversal in Bitcoin. It just means the historical frequency of those types of moves have been highest when the moon or the sun and the moon are in these signs. And so we look for the setup when we enter those periods as a market timing potential trade. The first step is you want to take out the previous day's low once you're in the solar lunar reversal period if you're looking for a bottom. So you've got to take out the previous day's low once you enter that zone. Or you got to take out the previous day's high if you're looking for a top once you enter that zone. The setup, though, isn't confirmed until the next day when the low is higher than the previous day's low if you're looking for a low, or the high is lower than the previous day's high if you're looking for a high. That way, you have an isolated low, which is a price that's lower than the day before's low and the day after low, or an isolated high, which means the highest price is higher than the previous day and higher than the following day. So it stands out as isolated highs and lows. So that is confirmed when that setup happens over a 3-day period of which the high or low is in the solar reversal zone. But you don't want to wait for it to be confirmed because by the time it's confirmed, it's already too late. So you have to use other tools besides this market timing tool. This is just a market timing tool that tells you to be alert for a setup. But when you're in it and you get the setup developing, then you got to figure out what price to buy if you're looking for a low or to sell if you're looking for a high. And for that, you need some price objective techniques. You need to have certain momentum indicators you follow on an intraday level as far as a daily level to make sure the setup is full and complete. So as I say, choosing the price to buy depends upon the price targets that your studies show and momentum oscillators. And once you've made the trade, once it's confirmed, then you know where to put the stop loss. It's going to be below the recent low if you bought and above the isolated high if you sold. And you're going to be looking to hold this position for 1 day to 2 weeks. Usually it's only 1 to 4 days. And you're looking for at least a 2.5% move off that low or off that high, or that's in gold. But if you're in Bitcoin, you're looking for at least a 5% move. Better yet, if you get 8 or 10%, but you don't always get that. But if you got a high weighted value score and you've got an oscillator setup, then it's more likely you'll get the higher percentage moves in the next 1 to 4 days. So to go over an isolated low, here's an example of an isolated low. On the it looks like the this date right here. Let's see what date that is on my chart. That would be on the 29th. Okay, you've got a low here, and you can see that it was lower than the previous day. So there's the setup if it's a solar lunar reversal time, and it held the next day. So it's the lowest price in 3 days, and the lowest price is in a solar lunar reversal period. So this is a good day to be looking to buy. The next day confirms it, and once it's confirmed, your stop loss is going to go below the low of the reversal date. Okay, and you're going to look for a 1 to 4 day rally or more. Sometimes you get up to 2 weeks, and you look for 2.5% movement. So that's one example of trading an isolated low in the Dow. Now let's look at trading an isolated high. Okay, this is the Dow again, and here you see on the day of the 10th, you have a higher high than the previous day, and it's higher than the day afterwards. So it's an isolated high. If that was a solar lunar reversal period, you would be looking to go short somewhere above the high of the previous day. The exact high will depend upon your price targets, which are technical studies you're going to follow, or it's going to be based on momentum studies. Maybe you're looking at a 15 or 30-minute stochastic or RSI or MACD or CCI or something that tells you it's overbought on your studies, and so you go short. And then when the next day doesn't take out that high, then you know your stop loss has to be at least, not at least, but no more than above that recent high. And you look for a 1 to 4 day decline here. It only took 2 days to get your decline. And then you start getting a reversal signal, presumably, on your intraday charts. But hopefully you got, you know, a 2 or 2.5% move there. So here is, let's look at Bitcoin now. Okay, this is a Bitcoin table that we put in our daily and weekly reports. And this is the recent one. So we're going to be looking at the recent, let's see, this would be the recent, this is a recent high or low. Let me see here. This would be the recent, well, this would be a recent low. January 23rd, we had a big low. The market had dropped quite a bit into January 23rd from the high of January 11th. It fell like 20%. So we don't have any reversal dates showing up here. I mean, you got the reversal. This is the studies of reversals that take place when the moon are in these signs related to these dates, going back to 2010. And we're looking for 12% reversals. And then within those 12% reversals, which were more likely to be lows, which are more likely to be highs. The 3 right columns are just the reversals of 10% or more since 2018 when Uranus went into Taurus. So we want to see if it makes any difference if we isolate just the Uranus and Taurus dates with the moon signs. And when they agree with each other, that's a pretty good sign. So on January 23rd to 25th, we had an indication of a low. Okay, you had a reversal signal, 123.7 in the greater data bank of Bitcoin, of which the vast majority, not the vast, but a good majority of them were a low. In fact, you have a weighted value score 150.1, so that's a big one. And it was confirmed with the Uranus in Taurus periods too. You have 154.5. So if you are moving into this January 23rd to 25th zone and you take out below the previous day, you are looking to buy. That's the setup. You've got to take out below the previous day. If you're not, if you're taking out the high of the previous day, well, you're not getting the setup. So you have to let that one go. You need to see the setup. So bear in mind, January 23rd to 25th, we're looking for a low. Now we had a recent low here too. We're looking for a low here on February 24th to 26th. Okay. I mean, the 23rd, the 22nd, 23rd could go either way. They are reversals, but they're lows and highs. But the 24th to 26th is in the longer term data bank, that is the low. You got a reversal, but it is a low, 144.6. And you get a possibility of another low, but it could be a high too, February 29th to March 2nd. So when you get something like that, where you get lows and highs, you got to take the one that comes first. Is it taking out the previous day's high or previous day's low? But you got to be careful because it might be a very short 1 to 2 day move in reverses, and you get both of them happening in that time. But we're focused on February 24th to 26th because that is more likely to be a low if you get the setup of taking out the previous day's low. So remember these dates. The first one was January 23rd to 25th. We're looking for a low. We're looking for another low, February 24th to 26th. Now let's look at those dates here. And you'll see that the Bitcoin stock market did in fact make a low here on January 23rd. That was the low. We got the low there, and it was an isolated low. And we got another isolated low here. It doesn't look like much of a low. It's like, it's pretty flat. But that low you had on February 24th, that was the lowest low of the last 11 days. So you took out the previous day's low, you held it the next day. That's the day you're looking to buy, and it's confirmed when you start taking out the highs. And you don't take out when you don't take out the low of the reversal zone. So those are two good examples of how you use solar, well, not solar, but more lunar reversal highly weighted scores in our reports. So it got the low here of January 23rd, and it got the low here of February 24th. And as I say, once you get the next day and you confirm it, you know where your stop loss has to be, and each of those worked out pretty good. And besides that, it's trading with the trend, which is always your friend. Well, let's look at gold. Okay, look at an example of gold. Here's what we had for recent trading cycle lows and highs. These are not necessarily going to correlate with primary cycle lows or highs. These are swing trades. These are swing trades based upon isolated lows and highs that happen in lunar reversal periods. So January 22nd to 25th, we had a very high reversal zone. I don't give your lows and highs in here, but I've got just reversals. It's the 164.3 3-star reversal. It's over 138 for the 3% move too. So we're looking for reversal on January 22nd to the 25th. We're looking for another reversal here, February 1st to 4th. The 4% is highly rated. The 3% not so much, but the 4% is highly rated. Okay, so let's remember these dates. January 22nd to 25th. And then February 1st to 4th. Okay, now let's look at what happened in gold. Okay, here's your January 22nd to 25th was this trading cycle low. It was the lowest price in about 4 or 5 weeks. Well, it's more than that. It's more like about 7 weeks. And you took out the low of the previous day. It held the next day. That was your buy. And it went up until February 1st. And that's in your February 1st to 4th reversal zone. February 1st, you take out the high of the previous day. We're looking to sell. It's confirmed the next day when you don't take out that high. And you got a nice move there. You got a nice, what was it? Looks like you got a move of got about a $60 move there in a matter of just 1 to 7 days. It looks like in each case or close to it. Okay, so that's how we use the solar lunar reversals. Again, they don't always correlate with primary cycle highs and lows. Those are more to do with what we call critical geocosmic reversal days, CRDs, but they do indicate very short 1 day to 2 week moves, especially 1 to 4 day moves, often isolate a low or high if you get the highly weighted solar lunar value for that day, and you get the setup where you take out the low of the previous day if you're looking for a low, or the high of the previous day if you're looking for a high. I hope this will be very helpful. And to all of you who are listening, happy trading, good luck, and thank you for joining us. Talk to you again soon. Thank you.